Grandmother. Grandmother. Excuse me. Grandmother. Oh, I'm sorry to wake you up, but yes, it's me, your granddaughter. It's good to see you again, too. Oh, yes, always wearing the cloak. Well, I came to give you some more snacks, some more meals. I got some more of that tea that you said that you liked last time. Oh, yeah. It was a little bit difficult getting to your house today, but I'll tell you that story in a bit. If I could move your tray a little. Okay. And take this cup. Is this clean? Okay. You seem to be sitting quite high today, Grandmother. Here, your tea. Oh, sure, I can keep it on the side for now. Just leave that on your tray there. Is that all right? Good. Well, I heard from my mother that you were having a little bit of trouble getting up in the morning and brushing your hair and taking care of your nails. Yes, from what my mother told me, you were quite the star back in the day, and I thought it would be nice today if I brought over some grooming supplies and helped you freshen yourself up. Does that sound good? Good. So, still using that basket that you gave me. I love it so much. It's really helpful whenever I'm trying to get to your house. But goodness, I'll leave the story in a bit. Sorry. Allow me to get everything set up. Okay. So, if you don't mind me saying, it seems to me that you're having a little bit of trouble keeping those big teeth of yours clean, and I was thinking we could start by me brushing them, giving them a good deep cleaning. Would that be alright? Okay. So, you don't mind if I set these down on your tray table? Okay. So, what happened in the woods today was that I was taking a little different route than usual, and I found that I got a little bit lost in the woods. This is some of the plants from our garden. My mother said that it would help keep your teeth extra clean and strong. Okay, so I took a little detour through the forest, and I came across some of these strange creatures, and most strange of all was a wolf that walked on 2 feet. Very, very interesting. I've heard tales of wolves of that kind, but I've never actually met one in person before. So, what happened was, I was taking my detour through the forest and kept hearing these strange noises. You know, my mother and I live fairly close to the forest, but not quite as close as you. And so I'm a little bit less acquainted with the forest wildlife. And while I was going to the forest and I heard those noises, got a little bit frightened. I know that you told me that ever since you moved through the forest, you needed to start taking some precautions to keep yourself a little bit safer. And I think I completely understand it now. It's a lot more dangerous than you think it is. Okay. So, walking through the forest, start running, and when I come to a stop, because I've run out of my breath, I'm deep within the center of the forest. And as I step in to a little bit of a clearing, just the smallest one you've ever seen, or the smallest I've ever seen. I'm sure you've seen many, grandmother. Come to the clearing and taking deep breaths, trying to rearrange my basket to make sure that I haven't dropped anything. It would be a little bit difficult to go back, but, you know, I wouldn't want to leave anything important behind. Okay. So, I'm checking my basket, and, pardon, do you have anything that I can sort of mush this down with? Oh, so, I'm making what my mother calls a toothpaste. It's like a soap for your teeth. Like I said, this plant is meant to keep your teeth nice and clean and shiny. Not that you need much help, your teeth are impeccable. But anyway, I thought it would be good for some maintenance. Okay. I think I can just mush it down with my hand. So, I'm checking my basket, and I go over the items one by one. I go for the tooth plant. I go for the powder that we mix with it in this little container here. And I keep going, and there was the brush to cleanse your teeth and the brush to help smooth through the tangles in your hair, and there were the scissors to give you your trim, as you always ask, and the file to keep your nails nice and short, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I'm counting them out loud, I hear this noise behind me, and I think to myself, oh man, surely this is one of the creatures of the forest that I have been trying to avoid, and I was very frightened. And let me get... Okay, yes, this will work. So, I hear that noise behind me, and I'm very frightened. And my goodness, there we go, the brush for your teeth. Now, open wide, okay? Okay. My goodness, you have such big, lovely teeth, grandmother. I hear the noise, and I prepare myself to run again. Okay, lean back. Okay, let me get in there. So, I turn around, and I prepared to see exactly what it is I'm running from. I realized that wasn't the smartest choice I've ever made. However, it's just what I thought of at the time. And what do I see, but a wolf that walks on 2 feet. Okay, you can close for a moment. I'm going to get a little more toothpaste. Can I see? Okay. You're so tall, Grandmother. I almost have to puff myself up to get to your height. Okay. And so the wolf is walking on 2 feet, and I'm so surprised to see it that my goodness, I completely freeze. And I'm glad that the wolf was very friendly. Otherwise, I know that just the other week, someone in our village, they ran into a wolf and couldn't get away. But I was so astonished by this 2-legged wolf, or wolf that walks on 2 legs. It did have 4. Okay, close. I was so astonished that I stood there and I said, "Well, who are you?" And the wolf said simply that it was a wolf, and that was the end of that. I didn't quite know where to go from there, so I started on my way. Started trying to continue my way over to your house, but the wolf was following me. We were both moving quite slowly. How about I work on your hair? Would that be alright? You have such a strange hairline, Grandmother. I can see where they said your beauty was unrivaled. I've never seen anyone with hair quite like yours. But allow me to get the brush. This is your favorite brush. You passed it on to my mother, and she thought that it would be nice to bring it back to you for this little combing. It's the most precious thing that my mother and I own, so I thank you for allowing us to keep it. But let's go on with your hair and my story. So, as I was walking through the forest and the wolf was following me, I thought to myself, goodness, I think that if we continue on in silence, I won't know how to predict how close it is, because I can't hear it at all walking through, and my footsteps by comparison are so loud. And I said to the wolf, "How are you doing today?" And the wolf said, "Never mind that. How are you doing today? What's your name?" And I thought that was a very strange way to continue a conversation, but well, I suppose that people who live in the forest, especially wolves, they must have a different way to handle these things. My goodness, you have just a little snaggle here. There we go. And I thought it would only be polite to try to respond in a way that would make sense to the wolf. So I told him my name, but no, not the name that my mother gave me, but rather the name that you gave me. Because they say there's a lot of power in a name. And I thought to myself, well, if this wolf is enchanted by fairies, this would be the safest option. So I tell the wolf that my name is Little Red Riding Hood. and I tell the wolf that I am going to see you today because I thought to myself, the wolf knows, perhaps, how our villages are so very protective, and if there's someone in the next village anticipating me, then if it plans to attack, then it knows that others will come after it. So, that was my plan. You seem to have a little bit of hair on your neck as well. Would you like me to brush that too? Okay. So I tell this to the wolf, and it keeps asking and asking these strange, strange questions. All the details about you and the village. I think that it was trying to find out how much of a threat the village was. And I told the wolf all about your big, strong teeth and your long, sharp claws, and mentioned that you had howled at many of your own moons in the past. I know it's silly, but what do you do? Would you still like that trim? It seems to me that you're getting a little bit long-haired around here, and if I would recommend it, I would just even it out a little. So just the smallest little trim. Would that sound good to you? Okay. So the wolf got this strange look on its face. And I almost asked it what that look meant, but it seemed too strange of a question to ask. I know that my mother recommended I never speak to forest dwellers at all, just in case, but sometimes you just can't help yourself. Perfect. Okay, last thing for the grooming for the day. How about you give me your hands and I'll be able to work on the nails for you? And don't mind me as I brush off a little bit of your hair. So, the wolf gets this strange look on its face, and I think I had better not ask. And, okay, can you set your hands out? Okay, lovely. Go ahead and rest them a little lower. Let's see. It seems to me that you could use just a little bit of filing on these fingers, the ring finger and the pinky, and the middle finger here and the thumb. It grows a little bit uneven, it seems.